thank you very much and welcome here to Netwatch Cullen Park in Carlow for the first of today's two live matches in the Littlewoods Ireland National Camogie League Division 2 semi-finals. Of course, we are talking about Waterford against Wexford. This throws in at 1 o'clock, and at 3 o'clock you can join our coverage here in the Camogie Association YouTube channel in association with Entry from Edenderry as Cork take on Antrim. I'm Darren Kelly, joined by Elaine Aylward. And Elaine, this is a game we've really been looking forward to. Two of the top 6 teams in the country, you could argue, both senior quarterfinals last year, but for one of them, they're going to be stuck in Division 2 again next year.
Yeah, for at least one of them, and as you said, it's a game we've probably teed up from the offset of this league that we knew they were going to meet at some stage, whether it was going to be a semi-final stage or the final. But look, they're two, as you said, two senior teams who will have huge ambitions for later in the year, and look, I suppose huge league ambitions as well to get out of Division 2 and get back competing at Division 1 level. So yeah, a massive game for both teams today, and given that they're drawn in the same group then in the senior championship later in the year, a chance to lay down a mark for championship camogie.
And of course they're drawing that group of death there, he says, as well. Group 1 with Cork, Tipperary, Dublin and Clare. But I was making an argument during the week that based on the division standings, and trying to get back to Division 1, that this game today is arguably as important, if not more important, than their championship meeting later in the summer.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think there's a huge amount on the line today for both panels and both sets of managers. You need to get out of, both of them, I said, have made no surprise about Division 1 camogie is where they want to be playing, and as a senior team, the first team in both counties, you want to be playing the Corks, the Galways, the Kilkennys and the Tipperaries of this world. Beating Kilkenny's second team is no good to these teams. They want to be playing top level camogie, and that's Division 1, that's where that's at. So to get there, they need to overcome today and then either Antrim or Cork next weekend.
Yeah, and of course it is only a semi-final. There's 2 games to get to Division 1, but it's also the carrot of Croke Park. For these two counties, Wexford, their juniors played in Croke Park last year, and there'll be 1 or 2 of those in the panel now, but you're going back to 2012 for the seniors to be involved, and not many of these players would have been there. In Waterford, there was a few from the intermediate winning team in 2015, but that's an ultimate chance, especially if you're trying to generate interest in camogie in the respective counties.
Absolutely, and look at the momentum it would carry going into championship then if you have that Croke Park experience behind you. As you said, chance for both of these. While some of their players will have been in Croke Park before and will have played at different levels there, these panels or these teams won't have been there in their capacity. So to get back to Croke Park is a massive carrot, and I suppose it's there then on top of getting back to Division 1 as well. So like you said, a huge game ahead of us here today.
Let's look at the two teams. We will start with Waterford. 4 changes from the side to beat Tipperary 4-10 to no score in their final group game. They had a bye in the quarterfinals last week, so Clara Griffin comes into the side, as well as, I'll confirm the other, Sarah Lacey, Niamh Rocket also back in the team as well, and Mairead Power in their team in full. In goal number 1 is Brianna Regan. Full back line of 2, Keely Corbett Barry, 3 is Iona Heffernan, and 4 is Mairead Power. The half back line were number 5, Aoife Landers. Centre back 6 is Orla Hickey, 7 Rachel Walsh. In midfield were number 8 Clara Griffin, partner by number 9 Kate Lynch. The half forward line 10 Sarah Lacey, 11 Beth Carton, and 12 is Mairead O'Brien. And the inside line, top of the right, number 13 Niamh Rocket, full forward 14 Lorraine Bray, and top of the left were number 15 Vicky Faulkner. Niamh Rocket back in the team is great to see. Lorraine Bray won't be a full forward, I'd imagine.
No, absolutely not. We're used to seeing her in the half back position last year, but certainly really thriving at midfield in this league campaign to date. So I expect to see her move out from there, and probably Vicky Faulkner go into the number 14 slot and become the fulcrum of that attack up front. But yeah, look, Waterford obviously missing a lot of players from last year. I think there's 12 of Derek Lyons' panel not available for one reason or another this year. So a chance for new players, I suppose, to stake a claim on a jersey. And look, he's looked at something like 27 players throughout the league, so certainly cast the net far and wide to try and get the best panel of players. And look, he has unearthed some great talent there. Rachel Walsh at wing back has been a real revelation, and look, I suppose he's established Beth Carton at centre forward, which is probably Waterford's, she's been their best player for a number of years, and where you play her has always been a bit of a conundrum. So she seems to be operating well at centre forward with Vicky Faulkner inside her, and as you said, Niamh Rocket then to come back into that forward 6. So look, they'll certainly be able to score up front, and I suppose a couple of really established players in the backs there as well. So Derek, I think, will be happy enough with what he's found in the league to date, but this, I suppose, is the ultimate test.
And of course he's the option of Tara Power to come off the bench as well. She scored 2-2 the last day against Tipperary. Let's look at Wexford now. They've had 2 changes from the side that actually played in the quarter-final against Kilkenny last week. Leah Walsh and Aoife O'Connor coming into the team. There's a few different jersey numbers. We'll run through their side. Aoife Mahan in goal. Full back line of 2 Sarah Harding Kenny. 3 is the captain Louise O'Leary, and 4 is Maeve Sennett. Half back line were number 5 Amy Cardiff. Centre back is Michelle Martin at 6, and 7 is Emma Walsh. In midfield were number 18 is Orla Sennett. Now she did start the quarter final. She's partnered by number 9 Sarah O'Connor. The half forward line 10 Anae Kern, 11 Ciara O'Connor, and 12 is Leah Walsh. And in the inside line, top of the right, were number 28 is Jackie Quigley, who did start the last day as well. Full forward number 24, Aoife O'Connor, and top of the left were number 15, Aoife Guiney. No doubt Kevin Tatton will have plenty of options in regards to where these players line out.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, different couple of jerseys up front in that first 15, but I expect to see a couple of positional changes as they line out as well. But again, loads of experience in that Wexford team, and I suppose did really well to get to that All-Ireland quarter-final last year. Probably a little bit disappointed with their first half performance against Kilkenny that day, so they'll be anxious to get back onto the big stage and to prove themselves at this level, and I suppose to try and push on then into Division 1 and ultimately set themselves up for senior camogie later in the year.
Conditions are absolutely ideal for camogie at the moment. It's nice and dry, barely a breath of wind in the place. The sun was with us a while ago. Hopefully it does return as well, so there can be no arguments from either side. Like, the better team is going to win this match.
Absolutely, conditions are perfect out there. There's no breeze out there. As you said, the sun was out a while ago, but certainly, as you said, no excuses today. The conditions perfect, the pitch in super condition. So, as you said, it'll be the better team that wins here today.
Hopefully the sun doesn't take too long. We put our jackets back on, which is unusual to say in the middle of the spring. Your referee for this game is Aaron Hogg from Clare, and he'll be the man who throws the ball in about 3 minutes time. You can hear the stadium announcer in the background just running through the two teams that we've told you about as well. And Elaine, as we said, these are two teams that will be targeting an All-Ireland semi-final later in the year, but Division 1 camogie is the thing. They're going to be holding nothing back. They've options on the bench as well for the respective sides. Where can you see the key battles happening in this game?
Yeah, look, I think the middle of the field is going to be a massive, as we've seen, they'll probably both try and isolate a couple of forwards up front in that full forward line. So it's going to be a very busy between the 265s or 245s in there. As I said, Lorraine Bray has been flying it there for Waterford, but she's going to come up against a formidable midfield partnership today in Sarah O'Connor, and whether it's Orla Sinnott or whoever else joins her there. But look, Anae Curran has been in tremendous form for Owler during the year, and she's carried that form back into the Wexford setup. So, she's a real scoring threat up front. And look, when you look throughout both sets of forwards, I suppose they both have real good scoring threats, and I suppose it's whose defence will maybe cope best with that attack that will ultimately determine the winner today.
Of course, this is a game they'll be waiting for as well. Not just the importance that we discussed already in regards to promotion, but no disrespect, I suppose, to the teams that they've played, but have either really got the test they needed. Like Waterford beat Tipperary 4-10 to no score. That was 3 weeks ago. They'd 10-point victories over Kilkenny and Westmeath. Wexford might have been asked a few more questions, especially of Cork the first day. Meath as well, there was only 6 points between them. They beat Kildare well, and Kilkenny went with them for a while last week, but of course the early goal from Mag Byrne was crucial in the end. Does that give Wexford a slight advantage?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Look, both sets of teams will, I think, have set out their league knowing that the semi-final was ultimately where the real test was going to come. They would both realistically, and they may not have said it publicly, but both would have imagined that they would have beaten those teams, as you mentioned, along the way, and should have beaten them convincingly enough. As I said, this is Wexford and Waterford's first team, so they shouldn't have any trouble in overcoming the likes of Kilkenny's second team. And look, if they want to compete for All-Ireland quarter-final, semi-final and ultimately final places later in the year, they need to be beating those teams comprehensively. Waterford, as you said, probably made it a little bit more convincing throughout the league, but look, the real test for both of them is going to come in the next hour here today.
Yeah, Wexford lost the semi-final to Down last year on a scoreline of 18 points to 210, while Waterford were relegated after losing to Dublin in the relegation final. We're going to have a Raw na Fiann, and then after a Raw na Fiann we'll be getting ready for live coverage here of the Littlewoods Ireland Division 2 camogie semi-final, Waterford against Wexford. Well, that was the Raw na Fiann. You can hear the crowd here behind us in the commentary box clapping that as well. Waterford against Wexford. Elaine, I was just going through my notes there during the national anthem. 10 championship starters from last year on both teams here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, and we were talking beforehand off air, I think consistency is the big thing for these teams now. They both got to quarterfinals last year. They're both in Division 2, want to get out there, but the consistency they need to bring, and they need to bring that every day. And those championship performers, look, as you mentioned, Waterford are down a lot of experienced players, but look, they've got 10 championship performers out there, so there can be no excuses resources, for experience. You know, they have a really good underage structure and they have a really good setup to come through to. So we need to see that here today from both sets of teams.
Yes, they're both teams missing a couple of big names as well, but there's plenty of experience on the field of play, and that's where we're going to focus on over the next hour or so here on the Camogie Association YouTube channel, brought to you in association with Entray. It's Waterford against Wexford in the first of two live Littlewoods Ireland National Camogie League Division 2 semi-finals today at 3 o'clock from Eton-Derry. You can get Cork against Antrim, but here Waterford are getting in position. Wexford having a last little huddle there just off camera, and they'll get in position, and we'll keep an eye on the positioning of certain players. And of course the first one both looking for is Lorraine Bray, and of course no surprises where she was going.
No, we didn't even need to check that one probably to see that she was going to come out there, and Beck Carton looks like she is going into the full forward position, even though she's wearing number 11, so she's heading into that full forward line along with Vicky Faulkner and Niamh Rocket in there.
Waterford are attacking the goal to the right in the first half. There is no wind here. The sun is coming back out, and we're getting ready for throw-in. Looks like Ciara O'Connor has gone in for the throw-in as well for Wexford, and the referee, Erin Hogg from County Clare, throws the ball in. The game is on, and Littlewoods Ireland National Camogie League Division 2 semi-final. Wexford trying to launch the first attack, but ball given away, and it's Waterford now that we start the action. And number 12 for them is Mairead O'Brien, trying to get a control of the ball. Did she keep it in play? The linesman said no, it went out. And is he signalling that to be a Waterford ball? I think he is. So Waterford will restart right in front of us here in the commentary box, and it's Mairead O'Brien who'll take the sideline cut.
Yeah, and look, interesting enough, I suppose, straight from the throw in, Wexford lined up with 5 in that half forward line, just one Aoife Guiney inside at full forward on Owen Heffernan on her own. So Wexford obviously trying to isolate her straight away in there, and it looks like it's Orla Hickey has dropped back to be the spare player back there for Waterford.
Mairead O'Brien takes the line ball for Waterford, doesn't hold on to it, and Ciara O'Connor takes possession in the white helmet there for Wexford, looking for a teammate. The teammate out on the left is Emma Walsh, and Emma Walsh skips between the two 65-metre lines. Plenty of players around. This is Sarah O'Connor. Sarah O'Connor, normally a centre back, play midfield this year, but pushing up the field. Pass down the direction of Anae Kern, returned 2 games ago, has scored 14 points in her 2 outings for Wexford so far. Of course, well involved with Ora de Balloch in 2 All-Ireland finals in the last 4 months. The referee spots a foul on the Waterford defender. It's going to be a free out.
Yeah, and it was Lorraine Bray back there in her own full back line on that occasion to relieve the pressure back there. But super work from both sets of teams, a couple of lovely little hooks, and Wexford really driving out on that last occasion with Emma Walsh finding Sarah O'Connor with that lovely pop pass, but a super hook then from Marie Parrott just to avert the shot at goal. So, you know, both teams starting with real intent.
Aoife Landers and Brianna O'Regan undecided who will take this free, but it's going to be the wing back for Waterford, Aoife Landers, that restarts the action. She has moved from the forwards to the backs, gets a good drive down towards the other end of the field, but Wexford of course with bodies back in defence as well. Maeve Sennett in the blue helmet wears number 4, skips between 2 Waterford players, finds a teammate. That teammate is Sarah O'Connor, and she sends it up towards the 65-metre line, and this is good play from Wexford in the early stages of the matches. Number 24 for them starting the game, Aoife O'Connor, one of 2 changes from their quarter-final victory over Kilkenny. She's in the team as well, just trying to get her balance. Lost control of herself at the moment, picked the ball off the ground, says the referee. Free again for Waterford.
Yeah, a little bit of juggling there, dropped the hurl, dropped the ball, picked the ball and forgot the hurl, but yeah, again super intent from Wexford, and both players with the players back, so you know, a little bit of, I suppose, naivety from both sets of defenders initially. They're putting a lot of ball into that spare player on both sides, and you know, Maeve Sinnott has got back on a couple of occasions there for Wexford.
Aoife Landers was anxious to take that free, and she probably just put too much into it as it went out over the line, the far side of the field, or to the right as you look at it. And Louise O'Leary, moving back to full back from the wing last year, is the captain of Wexford this year, but she will be disappointed with her own effort on that set piece, and Waterford are going to get an opportunity. And of course we look at Niamh Rocket, we always wonder, tight angles there, would she consider it? Not on this occasion. Plays a low ball in the direction of Mairead O'Brien. She'll pass it out towards Clara Griffin. Clara Griffin gets the free, 5 players around her, so the free shot, if she can get it in, the advantage is still there. We're coming back for the free, Elaine, and after 3 minutes of action, surely we're going to get the first point of this match.
Yeah, look, you put your house on Beck Carton from this distance, certainly. You know, she's well capable of putting them over from anywhere, but this a nice one enough for her to start off with, and good build-up play there from Waterford from the sideline. You know, quick ball from Niamh Rocket, well controlled by Mairead O'Brien, and picked out Clara Griffin on the run forward.
And Beck Carton made a bit of hard work out with that, and indeed she's hit the ball to the left and wide. Did you put the hex in her?
I think that's commentator's curse, but yeah, that's an absolutely disappointing one for for Beck Carton, as I said, normally so reliable, and that certainly wasn't a difficult one by any standards.
Can Wexford make them pay now as Orla Sennett goes in the ball there now, moving up towards the 45-metre line, spots the player out on the right, and A. Kern. And A. Kern, where's number 10, hasn't got control of the ball yet, but sending it in the direction of Aoife Guiney. Won't come for her, but Wexford still have managed to get control of the ball. This is an opportunity for a score. The shot is coming in from Leah Walsh. That ball goes to the right and wide, and good response from Wexford. Waterford not wasting any time. Brianna O'Regan to Aoife Landers. Good block down there by the Wexford player who was Ciara O'Connor, but Waterford still hold possession of the ball. Mairead O'Brien very busy in the early stages, goes in the 45, getting away from Sarah O'Connor. She's Beck Carton in front of her, might go herself. Good block down there by Maeve Sennett. She's been good in the early stages of the game, as Elaine said. Mairead O'Brien gets another go at. They both puts the ball over the bar. Great passages of play there. 4.5 minutes gone, 1-0 Waterford.
Yeah, and credit to Brianna O'Regan there. A really quick restart from her from that wide from Wexford down there, and that's what set up that Waterford score. You know, they worked it really, really well out through the lines, and Mairead O'Brien blocked on the initial occasion and had Beck Carton making the run inside her as well, but opted to go herself the second time, and a good score from her.
So 1 point to Waterford, no score to Wexford. There has to be a winner on the day. We'll go to extra time if need be to decide who's going to Croke Park next Saturday, 5 o'clock, part of a double header with Galway against Cork in the Division 1 final. Free for Wexford outside the 65-metre line, going to be taken by A. Kern, and she'll taking her time there now. Of course, one of our heroes retiring there in the recent weeks, Ursula Jacob, a wonderful exponent of the game, one of the greats ever to play it, drops down in towards the house as well. What can Wexford do with this? Waterford need to be very careful as Aoife Guiney tries to bring the ball out into space. There's support there as well, and Waterford haven't dealt with this just yet, but the scramble for possession on the 13-metre line. How long more will Aaron Hogg allow them to play on like this? He gives Wexford the chance. The shot from Ciara O'Connor goes to the left and wide. Early stages is a big match, couple of nervous wides.
Yeah, look, and that was probably another poor one, a real snapshot. Probably had a little bit more time than she thought on that occasion, but the ball came quick out of the back of that ruck eventually and just took the snapshot and just to the left and wide. And as you said, probably just a little bit of nerves up front with the shooting at the moment, and credit the backs, there's severe pressure coming in on every shot.
Amy Cardiff was the Wexford captain last year. She did well to start this move, but this is a scoring opportunity for Wexford to finally get off the mark. The score comes from Leah Walsh. I believe it's her 10th point of the league, one each.
Yeah, look, and I suppose Wexford have been threatening that with the last few minutes. You know, they've been have some good build-up play, and Waterford have been defending well at the back, but on that occasion just didn't deal with their own puck out, I suppose, and left the opportunity there for Leo Welch, and gets on the scoreboard and gets Wexford up and running.
The two number 12s have scored in this game, and I can confirm that is Leah Walsh's 10th point in the 2022 National Camogie League. But Waterford are thinking about their own scores as Niamh Rocket sends it in the direction of Beck Carton. Beck Carton goes to the post. Good response from Waterford. The ball goes over the bar. The pace starting to pick up. 2 points to 1.
Yeah, and how often have those two combined over the years for Waterford? You know, a lovely through ball there from Niamh Rocket, and Mairead O'Brien had momentum coming into it, but opted to leave it off to Beck Carton, and super score from her. Just really good interplay up front.
We're expecting a good game of Camogie, and it's not disappointing despite the poor wides in the early stages as A. Kern gives the ball down the direction of Ciara O'Connor. Ciara O'Connor up against Clara Griffin, and Clara Griffin not letting her past the 45-metre line. Did well to hold on to the ball. 4 Wexford players around her, but she finds the Waterford player, and Waterford move it down the other end of the field. And can that ball be kept in play by Niamh Rocket? It was kept in play, but Louise O'Leary came out to meet it, and this is Emma Walsh sending it down the left for Wexford, and chasing after it is Orla Hickey, the number 6 for Waterford, and assured presence she is there as well, and behind her is Iona Heffernan, who has possession of the ball on the 20-metre line. But you can see Wexford, they look hungry for the ball, fighting for possession, trying to stop the Waterford puck out as well, and hoping to get a decision from the referee. Looks like that decision will be a throw-in.
Yeah, look, and Waterford had the numbers back on that occasion. You know, Iona Heffernan and Orla Hickey just failed to deal with it, but that's down to the pressure that was put on them by the Wexford full forward line. You know, held it up long enough there to get the support play in and have a hot ball now for their work.
Ball thrown in, an important one for Waterford to hold on to it, and they've managed to bring it up the field. And Clara Griffin, you can hear the supporters there saying well done Clara, and gives it down to Mairead O'Brien. But Mairead O'Brien against Emma Walsh turned into a very, very exciting battle. Wexford getting a bit careless here, and they've lost the ball because Beck Carton was there, and fighting for it, takes a push into the back there. No free, says the referee. Beck Carton wasn't looking for one because she has the ball again, but again good challenge there by Sarah O'Connor. Sarah O'Connor the defender, but eventually Beck Carton gets the free. I think she should have got one a couple of moments earlier. Either way, she has it now.
Yeah, probably had it well earned at that stage. But what a lovely piece of skill from her, just back about 10 yards before that. The hand pass back from Wexford just miscontrolled. Carton got the hurl in, flicked it down lovely into her hand, and took off and got it up into the hand again. But credit to Sarah O'Connor, she got back again and, you know, put a lot of pressure on her there, and eventually given away the free.
So Wexford player, I think it's Emma Walsh, just receiving some attention at the moment. Emma Walsh, an All-Ireland Under-16B winner with Wexford back in 2009, would you believe it? And that was a victory against Waterford too. So, of course, there are two rivals down in the southeast, both wanting to progress, whether it's hurling, whether it's camogie, whatever sport, and both teams put everything into it, especially in camogie. Beth Carton, the two-time All-Star, gets ready to take the free outside the 45-metre line. Chance to put 2 points between the teams as she goes for this. She'll be disappointed with the first shot, hits this one a bit better, but will it turn in? It just turns away, and it goes to the left and wide, 2 wides each into the game. It remains 2 points to 1.
Yeah, and again, uncharacteristically from Beth, went out left again at the same side, a little bit outside the 45, but certainly well within her distance, and just maybe trying to get the radar in a little bit initially.
Wexford win for the short puck out. Amy Cardiff working it up the right, but there is Orla Hickey winning it back for Waterford, and she sent it down the field as well. And the scrambles for the 50-50 balls very, very important as Michelle Martin gets involved for Wexford. The ball goes out over the line, the far side of the field. It's going to be a Waterford ball, and I believe Beck Carton is actually going to line up to take this one, I believe, and try and create a scoring opportunities. We look at the space inside the full back line. Indeed, it wasn't Beck Carton that took it. It's Lorraine Bray actually, I think, took it on that occasion. Beck Carton received the ball and is sent across in the direction of Niamh Rocket. Big names from Waterford stepping up when needed. Will this be a score? It goes over the bar. 10 minutes into the game, 3 points to 1. It's Niamh Rocket who gets it, but big names helped to make that move happen.
Yeah, looked at 3 big names for Waterford. They're 3 All-Stars, Lorraine Bray to Beck Carton, and a lovely ball out to Niamh Rocket. Didn't catch it initially, but did really well to get on the second ball, and a super score from her. And I suppose a ball that came from really, no real chance really out on the far sideline from Waterford. Didn't look to be at that threatening a position, and suddenly Waterford get a score on the board and just stretch that lead.
They have the 2 points in front, but it's a very 50-50 game in the early stages as Aoife O'Connor goes in the move again. The referee had the handout for a previous foul, so Wexford will get a chance to get back into this game as well. And will it be Naomh Kern to take it, or will it be someone else? Are they going to go short? Naomh Kern is not on the ball at the moment, so it's going to be, looks like it's Kira O'Connor that's actually going to be taking this at the far side of the field, inside the 65-metre line. I wonder will she go for a direct shot at goal?
Yeah, she certainly has the distance. She's a superb striker of the ball and scored a couple of lovely long-range frees last year throughout the championship, so she'll certainly fancy her chances from here.
Kira O'Connor has scored 110 in the league so far, sends it down towards their house as Wexford try and create a scoring opportunity in there for Waterford as Keely Corbett Barry. The ball eventually goes out over the line and wide, 3 wides for Wexford in the early stages, and Brianna O'Regan not wasting time. That's what you want to see your goalkeeper doing, not wasting time, getting on with the play, and that's what Waterford are doing as Mairead O'Brien has the ball again. Always been well contested, but manages to get it down towards the attack. Vicky Faulkner not on the ball much in the game so far. The Slater just getting away from her. It's going to be a line ball for Wexford. Sarah Harding Kenny, who could have a very busy day in Gaelic games today, but she's only focused on camogie at the moment, goes for a short one, tried to get a 1-2 with Beck Carton. Cheeky enough in itself, but Beck Carton wasn't buying it. Maeve Sennett is there for Wexford, as is Michelle Martin. Michelle Martin being pushed back, but moves up towards the 20-metre line, and eventually Wexford managed to get some control of the ball. The challenges are going in, and they're going in thick and fast in both teams, that has to be said as well. Great commitment.
Yeah, absolutely. They're keeping Aaron Hogg on his toes out there, and whether it's forwards defending or defenders attacking, there's certainly lots of movement up and down the field from both sets of players, and both teams just trying to find that little edge at the moment.
So it's going to be a free out for Wexford on the 45-metre line, going to be taken by Emma Walsh, and Emma Walsh restarts the action for the Slaney Siders. Crossfield ball there. Aoife Landers put the hurl up but didn't get near the ball. However, Mairead Power was behind her, and a couple of passes later Keely Corbett Barry gives the ball to Sarah Lacey, and Sarah Lacey trying to get past Amy Cardiff, just stopped on the 65-metre line, looks around again. Good link up play from Waterford, you have to say here. Elaine talked about the changes in their team, but there's good players out there. We know the young talent pool that is coming through in the Dacia County, and they'll definitely be competing for years to come at the top flight, as will Wexford, who are certainly turning the corner after a couple of difficult years. The scramble for the ball between the 45 and the 65-metre line, hard to see who has control of it at the moment. It's like a rugby scrum, it's like the TikTok Six Nations. It's working its way one direction, but we can't see who has it.
No, and I think there's probably 24 players in that little ruck over there at the moment. As we look out left, it's Brianna O'Regan inside of her goal, 1 defender in front of her, and it's Aoife Mahan at the other side, and 2 defenders defenders and 2 attackers in front of her. Everyone else seemed to be between the 45 and 65 there. Look, and that's just the tenacity of the challenges out there today, but Waterford will be happy enough to take the free from there.
Aoife Landers with a quick free down in the direction of Vicky Faulkner, trying to keep the ball in play, but she's no support. That ball is going to go harmlessly wide. In fairness to Vicky Faulkner, the 2 balls she's had so far, they've been difficult to control, but she's covering both widths of the field.
Yeah, and you can see what she's trying to do. Look, on that occasion she wanted to try and keep it in play if she could, and get around her player. She has super pace in there, so a real threat up front if the ball runs right for her, and just the last 2 occasions just hasn't quite hit the ground for her.
13 and a half minutes gone here in Watch Cullen Park in Carlow. The Littlewoods Ireland National Camogie League Division 2 semi-final. Waterford 3 points, Wexford 1, but plenty of end-to-end stuff and a few nerves in the early stages as Amy Cardiff tries to make things happen for Wexford in the middle of the field, but Waterford showing the intensity as much as their opponents, and again it's like a scramble for the ball. Clara Griffin got in there to help find a teammate. It's sent down in the direction of Maeve Sennett, who's certainly standing out among the defenders in the early stages. Tries to pick out an Acorn. Good first touch control, but is it enough to get away from Aoife Landers? Not fully at the moment, and again there's bodies going in from both sides. I think there's 4 or 5 from each team in the middle of this ruck at the moment, and it's taken by Rachel Walsh. Rachel Walsh, one of the newcomers this year that's really impressed. A pass out towards Owen. It was a bit of a mix-up, I suppose, of what they were trying to do. I thought it was coming out to the right, but not to be. Emma Walsh has it back for Wexford and moves towards the 65-metre line. Low ball, trying to pick out Aoife O'Connor. Not to be, says Waterford, but they legally done so. It's going to be a free for Wexford in the middle of the park.
Yeah, and look, that looked like a great opportunity for Waterford. Rachel Walsh moving forward at pace, and I suppose just maybe too many options up front for her, and the hand pass didn't quite come off, and Wexford turned it over again. But huge play between, as we said, the 2 45s, a massive bodies out there, and both players just trying to find the space for their inside full forward line to exploit.
This is Aoife Guiney wearing number 15. She took the pass from Sarah O'Connor. Can she get a score that Wexford needs? She does. Puts the ball over the bar. 15 minutes into the game. It's 2 points to 3.
Yeah, look, and that's what both sets of teams need to do, is that quick ball into that full forward line. Look, there's a myriad of bodies around the middle of the field there. It's hard to get any clear ball, but when they do get out, when they do win that possession, it's what they do with it. And look, at the moment, I suppose they've both been a bit careless with possession in that they've given it away to the spare defender on each side. So, you feel the team that can get a little bit cleverer with possession is going to reap the benefits.
There's been 5 points in this game, for all from play, all from different scores. Waterford lead by 1, perfectly set up for an intriguing afternoon here in Carlow. As again another scramble for possession. These breaking balls very important. Waterford trying to move it up the field through Keely Corbett Barry, but the referee did not like what he saw. Going to be a free in for Wexford, and an opportunity for Nae Kern to get her first of the day and level the teams.
Yeah, look, Waterford will be disappointed with that. Keely Corbett Barry did well to win the ball in that ruck of players, but so it's just making no real effort to play it coming out. And credit again the Wexford forwards, they stood her up and forced the overcarry, and the chance now for an Acorn.
And Acorn takes the free for Wexford, puts the ball over the bar. 16 minutes into the game, the first free converted of the match, 3 points apiece.
Yeah, and look, again, it's Brianna O'Regan with the quick restart for Waterford. It's one of the new rules that were introduced, and it's certainly one Waterford are trying to get the benefit of.
And credit to the referee in that occasion too, because especially coming after a score, he didn't allow any time to be wasted. Let's get on with it. Aoife Landers gives the ball to Lorraine Bray, and Lorraine Bray is on the move here for Waterford. She might go for the point, does go for the point, puts the ball over the bar. You can hear the Waterford supporters, they like that. 4 points to 3.
Yeah, and look, that's the real leader that Lorraine Bray is on this Waterford team. Demanded that ball from her teammate there, knew that she was going to get forward and get into that scoring position, and ran at the heart of that at the Wexford defence, and a super response to their score.
Wexford are coming back straight away now as well, trying to create another opportunity as the ball is sent down in the direction of Aoife Guiney, wearing number 15. The defender slips, but the defender Iona Heffernan had control for Waterford, gives the pass to Orla Hickey, and Orla Hickey sending it out, but out to touch. It's going to be a Wexford line ball inside the 45-metre line. Wexford starting to settle into this game now.
Yeah, I think they're starting to find their feet up front. They had, as I said, they've been winning the ball around the middle. Emma Walsh at wing back have been driving forward, but they just really been failing to make the passes stick up front, and the Waterford defence had probably been on top for that first couple of minutes there, but Wexford starting to grow into it now and starting to maybe find their range a little bit.
So it's going to be a free out here for Waterford again. Aoife Landers just as busy as Maeve Sen at the other end, waiting for the linesman there to tell her exactly where to go. Waterford have used 27 different players in their 3 outings in the league so far, as Derek Lyons looks at all these options ahead of the championship, and of course even now as well, these games when you get to knockout are nearly as important, if not as important, as the championship. The long ball foiled down towards the Wexford 45-metre line, but a Waterford player didn't take advantage, and again there's the battle for possession, and Wexford have the ball. A high chance challenge there. The foul is committed. Good work on that occasion by Amy Cardiff, and she is going to take the free out for Wexford. Actually, no, she's not. She's leaving it for Sarah O'Connor. Sarah O'Connor is captain of St. Martin's in the county final in Wexford. Takes the free and sends it down towards the opposing 45-metre line as Wexford, who have not led in this match, look for the opportunity to go in front. And good work here by Leah Walsh. Leah Walsh sending it in towards the two-player inside line. Didn't fall for Aoife Guiney in that occasion. Back to help out is Lorraine Bray. Lorraine Bray gives the pass off to Mairead Power, but Mairead Power just loses a bit of control as Waterford being a bit careless in their own 45-metre line. Wexford have the ball back in Ahern with a shot at the post. The umpire likes it. It goes over the bar. Excellent point from an Ahern. The Waterford will be kicking themselves. They didn't do better with that.
Yeah, look, from a Waterford management point of view, they'll be disappointed. They didn't deal better with that one. They had it coming out on a couple of occasions and just failed to clear their lines. Whereas from Kevin Tatton and Wexford's point of view, they'll be delighted that they turned over that Waterford defence and managed to make a count on the scoreboard.
Of course, Wexford have not gone in front yet. That was an equalising score. Level for the third time now, 4 points apiece as Maeve Sennett gives the ball to Amy Cardiff, and Amy Cardiff just stops for a moment. Didn't like what she saw in front. When she turned around, she didn't like what she saw either, because she saw Beck Carton, and the ball goes Waterford's way, and that'll be from the 65-metre line.
Yeah, look, Amy Cardiff again, the Wexford half-back line said really starting to grow into the game. Amy Cardiff and Emma Walsh at either side with Michelle Martin in the middle, and Maeve Sinnott is playing that sweeper role in front of Vicky Faulkner in there. So Waterford with a two-person full forward line that's often Niamh Rocket and Vicky Faulkner in there. So obviously looking to get quick ball in there and to try and exploit that Wexford full-back line.
Clara Griffin didn't waste any time sending it down to Vicky Faulkner, and this time she managed to force the touch off Sarah Harding-Kenny, so it's going to be a Waterford ball, and it's Sarah Lacey is going to take this on the 20-metre line. Again, we look around, just if you're unfamiliar with the rules of Camogie, a sideline cut is worth 2 points in Camogie, and I'm not too sure if that was attempted as a shot or a crossfield ball. Either way, it didn't threaten the goal, but it might threaten the Wexford defence here as Niamh Rocket puts the pressure on the defender and has managed to do well to shake off 3 Wexford players. Goes to the ground, play continues on. Wexford battling forward, and it's won by Emma Walsh. Emma Walsh sends it up in the direction of an Ahern wearing number 10. And Ahern, the only player to score twice in this match so far. 4 points apiece. Down the left, and Jackie quickly might try and get on this. Out to beat the ball is Keely Corbett Barry, but put under pressure by the Wexford number 28. And there's the battle. You can hear the management teams on both sides roaring on their players, giving them encouragement. Clara Griffin wears number 8 for Waterford. She's in the middle of that, but it's Keely Corbett Barry. The player was there first, won the ball. Lorraine Bray runs into the defender, and I don't think there was any argument about that. It was always going to be a free out.
Yeah, look, ran into the defender. Heard was probably a bit high going into the tackle as well, and that's probably what Aaron Hogg is looking at more. And again, Waterford will just be disappointed. It was a ball they had under control again from wing back there, and just failed to clear their lines cleanly. But look, it's the consistency in the rule. You know, I don't think Lorraine Bray made any effort to get around the Wexford player, and as I said, I think the hurl was a bit high going into the tackle as well.
And she's got a yellow card for her troubles as well, as we have a hold up and play as Jackie quickly receives some attention. Of course, Lorraine Bray, her 10th season playing for Waterford, made her debut back in 2013, the year they won the Premier Junior Championship. And what a journey Waterford have been on. They won the intermediate in 2015, and I suppose, Elaine, we've been playing the waiting game to see if they can break into the top 4, but they've certainly established themselves as a top 6 team over the last couple of years.
Absolutely, look, and they seem to come up against Tipperary, I suppose, time and time again at the latter stages of the senior championship
this year.
in the last couple of years. So look, I suppose that's a rivalry all of its own that's been building up. But yeah, massive work being done in Waterford, and as I said, they've been on a huge journey from junior all the way up through the ranks, and took them a while, I suppose, to get there, and they were knocking on the door for a long time at the lower grades, at junior and intermediate. But look, when they got there, they certainly have, you know, they've been to the latter stages of the championships for the last couple of years, and as I said, they're one of those teams now that you feel that you just need to break through, get a victory over one of those bigger teams. And that, you know, as we said, massive work being done underage in Waterford as well, and huge work at development level and everything. So the stage is set for them, the plan is there, and the panel is there for them to walk on to, you know, to try and make that step up. So, you know, a victory here today, I suppose, and getting back to Division 1 is the ultimate goal for this campaign for Derek Lyons and his management team.
Yeah, they've been in 4 consecutive All-Ireland quarter-finals, lost 3 of them to Tipperary, 1 to Galway that they were looking good at half-time. That was the year the Galway went on to win the All-Ireland. Jackie Quigley for Wexford, thankfully, is back on her feet. 3 points in the league campaign so far, so we know the ability is there in Waterford as well as it is in Wexford.
Absolutely. Look, they're two senior teams. We're at a Division 2 semi-final today, but they are 2 senior teams, and we'll compete in the senior championship later in the year, and that's the quality of player. Look, you look across both panels here today.
And that was quality from Sarah Kira shot on a save from Brianna O'Regan. Sarah O'Connor took the free to Ciara. Ciara O'Connor going in the move. We always thought she'd go for the goal. Brianna O'Regan, well, that's the highlight reel in itself.
From both sets of players, the shot initially was a super shot, looked to be heading to the top corner there, but Brianna O'Regan, what a save. That's one that needs to be looked at again and again. She's been a super keeper for years for Waterford, and we've seen her restarts, her shot stopping ability. She stopped penalties, she scored them, but that certainly was one of the top drawer saves.
I think there was a foul committed in the process. I was looking for the 45. That's not happening. So in Kern, they're going to get something out of it. But look, if you're watching the coverage here, hopefully we'll get that up on our social media later on, because that was a save that deserves to be watched on League Sunday, let alone here on the streaming services of the Camogie Association YouTube channel. And Kern puts the free over the bar. 24 minutes gone in the game. Wexford finally go to the lead, 5 points to 4.
Yeah, and look, I suppose from a Waterford point of view, they'll be happy enough to have only conceded the point on that occasion. But look, they've done a lot of the hurling. They've probably left Wexford grow into the game a little bit in the last while, and the Wexford defence just maybe starting to get on top of those Waterford forwards and starting to just be a bit more clinical up front then as well.
Wexford 5 points, Waterford 4, 6 minutes to go to half time. Waterford did lead by 2 points at one stage and want to get themselves back going as Mairead Power gives the ball to Rachel Walsh, and a couple of passes later this is Niamh Rocket on the move, goes for a shot at the post. This might drop in. Is the pressure going to be applied? Aoife Mahan, the new goalkeeper for Wexford, only came into the panel last year looking very, very comfortable, and gives the ball to Michelle Martin. Michelle Martin turns around to Louise O'Leary, but again that bit of carelessness we've seen it with Waterford too. A chance for a score. The shot comes from Kate Lynch and the ball goes to the right and wide. Waterford really should have punished them.
Yeah, that's one they should have capitalised on. You know, I suppose Louise O'Leary just changed her mind at the last second, decided to go with the right hand instead of the left, and just the ball flew over. But it was certainly a chance there, and Waterford will be disappointed not to have scored that one. It would have been a super response to the Wexford point at the far side.
Jackie quickly with the ball, gives the pass off to Amy Cardiff, and Amy Cardiff will try and pick out an Kern, and Kern up against Aoife Landers, and Aoife Landers will stay very tight. Orla Hickey there for Waterford, wins the ball, brings it up towards the 45-metre line, and good movement again by Waterford as Rachel Walsh launches the delivery down in the direction of Beck Carton, gets away from Bet. It'll be won by Maeve Sennett. Maeve Sennett has support around her, has two options, and Sarah O'Connor is the one that she picked, and Sarah gives it out to Louise O'Leary, and Louise O'Leary coming out from her full-back position, kind of in wing-back as well, so back to more familiar territory for Louise. Crossfield ball here for Wexford. Can they gain out of it? Waterford needs to be very, very careful. Referee says that the Wexford attacker was impeding on the Waterford defender. Was Leah Walsh up against Mairead Power, and it's going to be a free out for the Dacia.
Yeah, and really clever defending there from Mairead Power for Waterford. You know, opted to go with her foot just to keep in front of the Wexford player. When she did, then did really well to earn the free.
The free taken quickly again by Waterford, but one back by Wexford, and Aoife O'Connor has the ball off the body of Clara Griffin, so it's going to be another Wexford ball right in front of us here in the commentary box. We have the substitutes for both teams near us as well. Wexford a bit in closer to us, Waterford down to the left, but straight away Leah Walsh gives the ball, or Emma Walsh, sorry, gives the ball to Sarah O'Connor, and action is happening between the Waterford 45 and 65 metre line as we have 4 minutes to go to half time here in Netwatch Cullen Park in Carlow. Wexford 5 points, Waterford 4, but can Waterford level us for the fourth time? Maybe if this works out, because Beck Carton has the ball. Niamh Rockets in front of her, gives the ball to Niamh. Niamh needed a second touch, runs into the challenge, gives it out to Bet. The advantage has been given for a free. Bet will go first from play, hits the ball, puts it over the bar. The advantage is allowed. 27 minutes gone, we are level, 5 points apiece.
Yeah, and that's a super equalising score from Waterford. You know, again, did really well to win back possession. They were defending on their own 45, but when they did break it up front, it broke lovely for Beth Carton, and with a lovely little bit of interplay between herself and Niamh Rocket, you could see them reading one another's minds.
That brings Beck Carton's league total this year to 20 points, 117 she has scored over the campaign. Waterford have a free on their own 65 metre line, looking to get back in front, and it's going to be taken by Aoife Landers, who generally takes the frees no matter where they are in their own half of the field. Aoife Landers with the free for Waterford, down towards the attack, trying to find Vicky Faulkner. Where you find Vicky Faulkner, you also find Sarah Hardine Kenny, and Sarah is there. Support is coming from Maeve Sennett, who's reading the ball just like Mary Lacey would have read the ball back in the day. And Wexford still have control, but they haven't sorted the danger out, and Beck Carton is there lurking, trying to get the ball. She has support in front. Beck Carton has won the ball. Wexford shouldn't have allowed that, and tries to find the other player, Vicky Faulkner. The referee spotted the foul by the Waterford attacker. It's going to be a free out for Wexford.
Yeah, and credit that Wexford full back line again. Sarah Harding Kenny there. You know, Waterford opting to try and hit the space and obviously make room for Vicky Faulkner, who had Beck Carton for company, and back up, and when Bet did win it, Wexford are quick to get the numbers back, close down the space and cut out the opportunity, and a good free for them to win back in their own full back line.
Eva Mahan, the goalkeeper, takes the free for Wexford. 2 minutes to half time. Level game here in Carlow, but Waterford have the ball through Clara Griffin. Clara Griffin gives it off to Lorraine Bray. Lorraine Bray wins the free, and the Rocket was running up to it, but I think she's going to leave this for Beck Carton, will she? It's going to be a free for Waterford. Beck Carton taking her time. Looks like the referee's having a word with Sarah O'Connor.
Yeah, look, and I think that was a reverse of the yellow card for go learn from that mistake, and obviously duck to go around Sarah O'Connor on that occasion, and Sarah O'Connor picking up the yellow card. And look, Niamh Rocket I think wanted to go about it quick and maybe try and get a quick ball into Vicky Faulkner and Beck Carton inside, but when it didn't come off, then opted to leave it for Bet from distance.
1 yellow each, 5 points each. The only difference is wides 4-3 against Waterford. You could say they're the guilty party, but this is Beck Carton trying to put her team a point in front. Goes for the free. It looks good. It's gone over the bar, and now with about 80 seconds to go to half time, Waterford leads 6 points to 5.
Yeah, and look, that's the type of a game it has. It's been in the balance throughout, and it's swung one way and then the other, but two really evenly balanced team looking to go about playing similar game plans. And look, we're having an absolute thriller here in Carlow.
Ray O'Brien shakes off defenders, wins the ball, sends it into the space in front of Niamh Rocket as Michelle Martin tries to be careful not to let the Waterford number 13 win her for that ball, and she has possession but being put under pressure. Eventually finds Sarah Hardine Kenny, and Sarah Hardine Kenny needs to be careful as well. Runs in to Vicky Faulkner, and again you can't argue with the decision.
No, look, and that's the consistency of the rule. The player in possession of the ball needs to get around the player that's coming into challenge, and Sarah Hardine Kenny didn't on that occasion drop the shoulder and met Vicky Faulkner, and you could see Vicky Faulkner when she got up off the ground realised the free was going her way and celebrated it. I don't think the challenge was worthy of a yellow card. Maybe Sarah said something afterwards she shouldn't have said. Either way, she's going to get a yellow card and become the third player booked in this half. Yeah, no, I don't think the challenge in itself, as you said, something said maybe afterwards, but look, I don't think there was any malice in it or anything untoward in it. It was just a player in possession coming out. It's certainly a free, given the consistency of the game that's been there throughout, and Aaron Hogg has been consistent on that rule, so a chance now for Beck Carton. The 30 minutes have been played, so we're going to keep an eye on the fourth official to see what the how much added time will be played. We're watching Beck Carton here getting ready to take the free. She didn't go for the shot. She sent one across, and look at Sarah Hardine Kenny out to meet it. One of 2 added minutes in this first half. We played 20 seconds of that, but Waterford let the scoring opportunity go. They tried to try something clever, and it's out in the middle of the field again, but the referee is going back for a foul committed on a Wexford defender, and all of a sudden a chance for Waterford to go 2 points in front could turn around to a level ball game before we go in for the break, as Sarah O'Connor is going to take this inside the 65 metre line. The breeze is starting to pick up and it's blowing towards the right. How much of a factor will that be later on in the game if it picks up, because it will favour Wexford in the second half. They have a free in here, and this will be a chance for an A-Kern to level the teams. Yeah, look, and what a swing, a chance for Waterford, and Beck Carton at one end, and opted not to go for the post, which I thought was unusual enough, but opted to go across short with it, overhit it. Wexford turned it over. They've won 2 frees now to get them up to the 21-yard line, and it looks like it'll be Wexford that will score. Yeah, indeed, it's something you have to nail when you decide to do something like that. And A-Kern is only going to think about the post, knows this could be the most important point of the match so far. She puts the ball over the bar. The 32nd minute of the game, we are level again, 6 points apiece. Yeah, look, and instead of maybe Waterford looking at going in 2 points up, they're now looking at going in level possibly before the half-time whistle. So look, it'll be one, I suppose, Beck Carton uncharacteristic with the first free and the first chance she got earlier in the game, and again with that one, so there'll be 2, I suppose, that she won't be happy with. This is good movement from Wexford. 3 players involved. Maeve Sinnott, Sarah O'Connor and Aoife O'Connor, but it run out of a bit of steam, but Waterford not dealing with it because both attackers, in fairness, putting pressure on opposing defenders. Rachel Walsh with possession for Waterford, lays the ball off to Aoife Landers, and Aoife gives it to Kate Lynch, and Kate Lynch sends it down towards the attack, and this is an opportunity here for Waterford to get something out of this as the Rocket goes to the post, puts the ball to the left and wide. Wasn't given much space at the end, but the referee is going to blow the half-time whistle exactly on the 2-minute mark. 6 points apiece in this game. Elaine, your overall thoughts of the first half? Yeah, as I said during commentary, look, a very evenly matched game. I think 2 teams very evenly matched throughout the field, and both adopting a similar enough game plan in trying to get the ball into that full forward line on both sides quick. Couple of poor decision makings probably from both sides. Look, the last shot there from Niamh Rocket, the free beforehand from Beck Carton, probably 2 poor decisions, and look, the game has swung up and down. Has swung in Wexford's favour and in Waterford's favour on occasion, so fairest result is probably going in all level. Both sets of management teams, I think, will have stuff to learn at half time. There's certainly areas that they can improve on, but look, you can't fault the tenacity here, I suppose, of the challenges all over the field there. A lot of the ball being played between the 245s, 265s, and huge tackles going in from both sets of players, and free taking maybe not of the highest standard we've come to expect so far, but I expect both Beckcarton and probably an Acorn to still have huge say in this game before it's over.
They certainly will. Beckcarton with 3 points in the first half. Mairead O'Brien, Niamh Rocket and Lorraine Bray also on target, and Acorn with 4. Leah Walsh and Aoife Guiney scoring for Wexford. They're going into the tunnel past the Carlow Rising sign, but who rise to the challenge in the second half and book their place in Croke Park? Join us in about 10 minutes time. We'll have live uninterrupted coverage of the second half of the Littlewoods Ireland National Camogie League Division 2 semi-final. Also Welcome back here to Netwatch Cullen Park in Carlow as both teams come back out in the field for the second half of this Littlewoods Ireland National Camogie League Division 2 semi-final. Waterford against Wexford, and nearly as expected, nothing between these teams. 5 times level, 6 points apiece. The sun has come back out, the wind has settled down, all to play for again, Lynn.
Yeah, absolutely. We're back to square one where we were 30 minutes ago or 40 or so minutes ago, and look, hugely. And I think probably both teams realise the opportunity that's there, and probably exudes a bit of the nervousness and a bit of the poor decision making. But look, a huge opportunity now in the next 30 minutes to see who has learned the most from that first half.
Well, we'll find out too as well, because also, Lane, the fairest way of describing this first half is both teams are trying to do Division 1 things but making Division 2 errors.
Yeah, that's probably a fair assessment of it. You know, a couple of basic errors at times leaving them down, and where the build-up play has been really, really strong in places, it's the last-minute decision-making or just that last-minute touch, not making the pass stick, that's leaving them down. And, you know, I suppose it's the team that has the least of those errors now in the next 30 minutes will probably progress.
Well, here we are, we're up and running for the second half. Aaron Hogg, the referee, has thrown the ball in. Waterford attacking the goal to the left, and they're trying to create the first attack as Lorraine Bray gives the ball to Mairead O'Brien, and Mairead O'Brien from the right goes for a shot at the post as a Waterford change as well. That ball goes to the right and wide first, and we can tell you that Clodagh Carroll is back in the Waterford jersey. There was talk she wouldn't be here this year. She replaces Rachel Walsh.
Yeah, she's one of the names, I suppose, that we would have said that maybe wasn't going to be involved in the Waterford panel this year, but what a huge player to have to bring in off the bench now. You know, had a great year with Galt here at centre back and was really beginning to establish herself in this Waterford team at number 6 last year, so a huge asset to have now at wing back.
And another player who was surprised wasn't starting. I just saw her in the field before it was announced there. Abby Flynn is also on. She replaces Sarah Lacey, so 2 Waterford changes at half time. Derek Lyons not wasting any time.
No, and I suppose that's where the championship field starts to come into the thing, isn't it? They know this game now is in the melting pot and it needs to be won, so there's no point in having players of the calibre of Abby Flynn and Clodagh Carroll on the bench in the next 30 minutes if you need to win this game.
Plenty to talk about. Leah Walsh hitting them wide for Wexford, 1 wide each in the second half so far. No further scores, and it's 6 points apiece between Waterford and Wexford. And who will advance to Croke Park next Saturday? Don't forget, if they finish level at the end of normal time, we will have extra time to decide this battle between the two neighbours in the southeast, the two rivals. Probably a better description. Aaron Hogg is from the west of the country in County Clare, and he is going to throw the ball inside the Waterford 65-metre line as I spot John McDonough from Galway, who's the linesman the near side of the field. Off camera at the moment, we'll focus on the action that is on camera, and we're waiting for the ball to be thrown in. Orla Sennett, whereas number 18 for Wexford, going up against Lorraine Bray. That's the battle at the moment, and the ball is thrown back in as the Waterford player wearing 14 but play midfield wins the ball, runs into the challenge of Emma Walsh. And both players are on the ground at the moment. Well, Lorraine Bray is back on her feet, not too sure exactly what the decision of the referee is here.
Looked like he signalled for a Waterford free. I think Lorraine Bray was in possession of the ball going forward, so just action happening on the far sideline there, but it does look like Emma Walsh was going to join a couple of her teammates in the referee Aaron Hogg's book today and get herself a yellow card for that challenge.
Aoife Landers is going to take this free for Waterford. The 24-year-old, as I mentioned earlier on, has played in the forwards before, but now in defence. I think that is a yellow card for Emma Walsh, Elaine.
Yeah, she picked it up, and as I said, I didn't quite see what the challenge was. It was on the far side of that ruck of players, but again, 22, 24 players maybe involved in that last little passage of play. But you know, time and time again today it's been Waterford who have been coming out of those rucks, and on that occasion it was Lorraine Bray, and back to her feet she was making the quick run up the left wing here now for the quick free from Aoife Landers.
3 yellow cards for Wexford, 1 for Waterford. That's the tally in that department. 6 points apiece in the game. 2.5 minutes, nearly 3 minutes gone in the second half as Aoife Landers takes the free for Waterford, who'll get the first score. She's looking for Beck Carton, their top scorer in the game. Beck leaves the ball off for Vicky Faulkner, and Vicky Faulkner tries to get inside Sarah Harding-Kenny, but Sarah Harding-Kenny, one of the tightest markers, whether it's camogie or football. You do well to get past Sarah Harding-Kenny. The pass across the field in the direction of Clara Griffin, just a bit too hard hit, and Aoife O'Connor will win the race, but just got a touch in the ball, hit it too hard. Going to be a Waterford ball.
Yeah, and what a ball it would have been across from Beck Carton. You could hear the crowd here taking it sharp and take a breath. They knew where it was going, just a little bit over Clara Griffin's reach, and credit to Aoife O'Connor, got back really, really well to get in front again there, but her kick passed out into space, just beating her out over the line, and a chance now again for Aoife Landers.
So we're going to have Aoife Landers be starting the action. I thought the linesman the far side of the field was trying to call the attention of the referee for something, but no, maybe he was just looking for a slitter. We have a slitter now for Aoife Landers, and it's going to be taken outside the Wexford 45-metre line. She's getting some words of encouragement from the management team, an extensive management team that both counties have. Aoife Landers takes the sideline cut, rolls around the ground, but it's going to be Orla Sennett that wins it. Even if for me, even a bit of indecision between the two of them could have been costly. It's with Amy Cardiff now outside the 45-metre line. The high challenge on Amy, the arms around her, 3-1, and the referee is bringing it back, and I thought Amy Cardiff could have taken that from our hands there after she won the free lane.
Yeah, I think the issue was she stepped outside the 45 as she was taking it, and those frees have to be taken from inside the 45, so I think that's what Aaron Hogg pulled her back for. The foul did occur inside the 45. She could have taken it from her hand in there, but stepped forward out over the 45, and the result was a clash ball.
So Wexford still have it again, the second time of asking. Sarah O'Connor running in to Aoife Landers, and it's going Aoife Landers' way. And Elaine, we've a lot of people talking about this rule, and of course we saw it between Galway and Tipperary a few weeks ago. In fairness to Aaron Hogg, he's consistent every time he makes the call. It goes against the person in possession unless it's clear that the foul is the other way.
Yeah, the onus is on the person in possession to get around the player that's attacking. So the onus is on Sarah O'Connor on that occasion to get around the Waterford player. She has the ball, she needs to evade the tackle. Look, I think it's a rule that probably needs to be, it's probably an old rule at this stage, and it's not in line with the rule changes or the way the game has gone in the last couple of years. I think it's a rule that needs to be revisited and probably needs to be amended to facilitate. Look, as I said, the crowds, the people talking about it are not aware of the rule, so let's get it ironed out, let's get it in line with hurling rules, with the GAA rules, the same as the way the last couple of rule changes have gone, and let's try and streamline our game.
I was getting concerned there. He was having a chat with Sarah O'Connor at the moment. He's been consistently giving yellow cards for that, but Sarah had already been booked, so I think he made the decision to leave that alone. What we don't want is to see any team go down to 14 players over a technicality. Beck Carton takes the free for Waterford, sending it down towards the house. The breeze picking up again, favouring Wexford. Wexford have the ball, and they had to be careful as I think it was Louise O'Leary with the clearance out the field, but it goes out over the line. It's going to be a Waterford ball again, and it's just a bit I don't want to say it's getting stops and starts at the moment here as well, but both teams just giving opportunities to the other that are not being taken.
Yeah, just not, I suppose, not being clinical enough up front, and both teams, as you said, trying to play that Division 1 play, maybe make a couple of quick decisions, and they're just not quite 100% coming off. Look, there could be a big move in it for a game somewhere else, and if one of those moves does come off, it could have a huge telling part in the game.
Clara Griffin sends the ball out to Niamh Rockett, who has possession. Lots of bodies in this corner of the field. Good pass to Abby Flynn. Abby Flynn with a shot at the post. That ball goes to the left and wide. 7th wide of the game for Waterford, 4 for Wexford. And Aoife Mahan has learned from her counterpart the other in the field. Get on with the action. And Jackie Quigley keeps the ball in play in the middle of the field. Touching the hands there. Nothing intentional in it, but it's going to be a free for Ciara O'Connor. And a chance in the middle of the field. I wonder will Ciara take this herself or leave it off for Sarah O'Connor. Indeed, it is Sarah that's going to be taking it. The O'Connors just telepathic the way they read each other, and Sarah O'Connor to take this between the two. 65-metre line, 7 minutes gone in the second half of the game, and Sarah O'Connor sending it down towards the goal. Is there a Wexford player there? Brianna O'Regan is there for Waterford. It skips everyone, goes out to the right and wide. 12th wide of the game in total.
Yeah, again, just probably a poor ball, from Wexford. They needed to keep that ball in play if they weren't going to score it, and it just drifted harmlessly enough out wide, and look, opportunities going a begging on both sides.
So we restart the action again through Brianna O'Regan inside the 65-metre line as Abby Flynn tries to move up the field, being well marshalled by the two Wexford players in the white helmets. Ciara O'Connor wearing 11 and Amy Cardiff 5, and little, I suppose, messy challenges going in now, Elena, has to be said as well. Both players just so determined and so desiring to get their hands in the ball and stop the other team with it that it's getting a bit messy, but this is good work here by Clodagh Carroll, and Clodagh Carroll gives the pass to Abby Flynn. Abby Flynn turns inside towards the 65-metre line. There's another player. The referee says it was a throw ball going to go Wexford's way.
Yeah, and again, probably just a little bit of indecision. You know, Clodagh Carroll in possession of that ball, opted to go with the little flick pass up to Abby Flynn, probably in too tight a position, and Waterford probably needed to get that ball into that full forward line that little bit quicker. Look, that's where they want to exploit Wexford, and when they don't get it in there, they're giving Wexford the chance to turn them over and put them on the attack again.
Sarah O'Connor gets ready to take the free, takes the short one in towards the attack, in for Aoife O'Connor, and Aoife just trying to hold her balance there. The three O'Connors all there involved, and Ciara misses the pass, and there's three Waterford players, none of them O'Connor I don't think, trying to get it. The fourth player comes out is Clara Griffin, but again the hands are being held there. Play continues on. Sarah O'Connor to Nae Kern, and Nae Kern on the move in the 20-metre line. Chance for Wexford to get the first score in the second half, and Nae Kern puts the ball over the bar. 8.5 minutes into the second half. A substitution about to come for Wexford. 7 points to 6.
Yeah, look, and that's a good response from Wexford. I suppose the ball has been up and down the field in possession for the last couple of minutes, and no team making any real clear effort. But look, no better player than an Acorn to pop up at the end of that. And I suppose it's when the passes, you know, the intricate passes that are just not coming off, they're being turned over on the middle of the field. You know, again, Waterford had that ball, Clodagh Carroll had it coming out. It was turned over. Wexford won back possession, and Acorn eventually got on the end of it. So, you know, it's the team that's going to punish those mistakes the most now in the next 20 minutes that's going to ultimately come out on top here.
Joanne Dillon is on the field for Wexford, where number 13 replaces Leah. 9 minutes gone in the second half. Wexford 7 points, Waterford 6. This is Ciara O'Connor. Good hook in the occasion by Beck Carton. The two number 11s up against each other, but Ciara just got isolated, and Waterford did their work well, and the pass comes to Kate Lynch, and Kate Lynch gives it the best, and Beck Carton's on the move again towards the 65-metre line, looking for Lorraine Bray, who's pushed into an attacking role for the second half, gone from corner back to midfield, now up in the attack. Aoife Landers has the ball, looks for the pass back to Kate Lynch. Kate Lynch leaves over Clara Griffin. A lot going on there, but Waterford get the free.
Yeah, look, and again it was Beck Carton, I suppose, had to come out from the forwards, got back, and what a crucial hook. And I suppose, and it's one of, she's such a super exponent of all the skills of the game, and it was a super hook there, forced turnover from Ciara O'Connor and set Waterford up on the attack again. But again, just a little bit sloppy from them around the middle of the field, and maybe it's when Wexford feel it on this occasion that they could have dealt with better.
Aoife Landers sends the ball in towards the attack again, looking for Niamh Rocket, who did well to get some form of control. This is Lorraine Bray. Lorraine Bray on the 20-metre line, looks for a better player in a better position. That player is Abby Flynn. Abby Flynn turns to the right, goes for a shot, just pulled too much in it, and it goes to the left and wide. We three Waterford supporters in front of us in the commentary box, and you can hear the groans from them. They knew that she should have done better with that.
Yeah, and again the build-up play was super, and look, from a Waterford point of view, if you're seeing Lorraine Bray, Abby Flynn, Beck Carton and Niamh Rocket all up on that one part of the field, you're thinking there's surely a score going to emerge from this. And I suppose Abby again just pulled the shot a little bit of panic in the play, and it didn't come off, but a super build-up play from Waterford.
Clodagh Carroll did well to gain the yards. 2 passes there. It's with Beck Carton. This is the Waterford attack, trying to find Lorraine Bray in there again. Wexford well marshalling that. Emma Walsh did get in the challenge, but did it illegally. Free in for Waterford, and Beck Carton will be favoured to make this level again.
Yeah, and look, super ball in from her again on that occasion. Saw the run of Lorraine Bray and threaded through the eye of the needle to get it over the Wexford defenders, and Lorraine Bray unlucky maybe not to take it in her hand initially, but took the foul, took the push in the back, went down, and as you said, a chance for Lorraine, or for Beck Carton to take her breath and get up and take a chance for this free.
So while we get ready for this Waterford free, I'd say many people around Waterford who weren't here had an enjoyable night in Semple Stadium last night. Congratulations to the Waterford men's camogie team, or hurler should I say, league champions after beating Cork. And this is Beck Carton. Will Waterford camogie be league champions next week? They have to get there first. Beck Carton takes the free, puts the ball over the bar. 11.5 minutes into the second half. It's 7 points all.
Yeah, and look, we have Lorraine Bray, Beck Carton and Niamh Rocket all inside in that forward line for Waterford at the moment now. So look, they need to get that ball in there. They need to make hay while they have those three players inside there. They're three all-stars. They're the three they need to get on the ball. And look, Clodagh Carroll is really establishing herself in that half-back line since she's come in there at half-time as well. And as I said, had a really good couple of years for Galtier and really grew into their half-back line and established herself in the Waterford number 6 jersey.
They'll be level 6 points, 7 points apiece. The sideline cut goes out over the line. It's going to be a Wexford ball, and just while we're waiting for that to be taken, let me tell you about hashtag Colour Her Way. Check out ChristineDoyle.ie, colour-her-way. Wexford getting behind that cause, supporting women to feel safe out and about, and rightfully so as well. And check that out if you get a chance later on here today. Speaking of Wexford, they have the line ball just outside the Waterford 65-metre line, getting ready to restart the action, and a low drive in, but only finds a blue and white jersey of Orla Hickey, and Orla Hickey, the centre back, gets hooked in the process. Aoife O'Connor's in front of her there, and again the scramble for possession. Who'll take control? Ciara O'Connor in there as well, goes to ground for Wexford. Waterford have the ball, they have it through. Clodagh Carroll has been very busy since coming on the field, and this is Mairead O'Brien, and Mairead O'Brien is raiding down the right here now for Waterford, and the space opens up. Look at the pace of Mairead O'Brien. Can she finish it off? And she has the advantage of a free. It's going to come back for the free. That ball is wide, but Mairead O'Brien just darting down the field, leaving her marker for dead. It would have been a super score if she finished it off.
Yeah, and time again it looked like she was going to be caught, and she just hit the accelerator and went again, and did really well to get the shot away without being hooked. But unfortunately for her, pulled it to the right and wide, but had been fouled, so had the advantage then of the free for Beth Carton.
Beth Carton getting ready to take this free, and while she's getting ready, don't remind you, 3 o'clock in Edenderry, the second of our Littlewoods Ireland National Camogie League Division 2 semi-finals. Cork against Antrim. Join us at 3 o'clock here on the Camogie Association YouTube channel. But who will be the first team into the final? Beth Carton takes the free, puts the ball over the bar, 13 and a half minutes in. Waterford lead 8-7.
Yeah, and that's a super score from them. You know, came from one of those rucks back again between their own 45 and 65, and it was Clodagh Carroll emerged with it that set Mairead O'Brien up on that long winding run that eventually ended up in the free. And you just feel now the game is getting into that melting pot stage.
Waterford just gaining a bit of momentum. Abby Flynn to Niamh Rocket, and Niamh Rocket to Lorraine Bray, and Lorraine Bray sends the ball across, and this is danger for Wexford here. Vicky Faulkner can get control of this. Sarah Harding-Kinney staying tight to her, but Vicky Faulkner in front is Mairead O'Brien outside her. Might go herself, does go herself, runs into two Wexford players, took too much out of it. The better option was Mairead O'Brien.
Yeah, absolutely, you know. Vicky Faulkner needs to play that ball back out. Waterford had the players outside her, and you know you're never going to step around Sarah Harding-Kenny in there in that tight space. She's one of the best man markers in the game, so you know she had that move covered. So Waterford needed to recycle the ball on that occasion, and maybe the initial ball across from Lorraine Bray probably needed to come out a little bit further.
Wexford now just getting a bit careless again, the crossfield ball, but plenty of time, plenty of space for the goalkeeper Aoife Mahan to drive the ball down the right, but that's going to go out over the line, or will it? No, good work there from I think it was Joanne Dillon trying to keep the ball in play. I think the Wexford player has an argument there. I think that ball just held.
Yeah, look, from my point of view now, there is a pole, I suppose, just in the way of it there, whether it just bobbled out over on that occasion, but no complaints, I suppose, from the Wexford management team, who were quite close to it on the sideline there, but, you know, could have been a really good ball for Wexford to try and keep in play, but again, Waterford just getting the breaks at the moment.
Yeah, it's a game of inches at the end of the day. Aoife Landers getting ready to take this free from Waterford and sends it down towards the attack, towards Beth Carton, but Beth Carton up against Michelle Martin, and Beth Carton has managed to get inside two players as well, tried to get the pass down for Lorraine Bray, cut out by Orla Sennett, and Orla Sennett gives it to Amy Cardiff, and Amy Cardiff to Ciara O'Connor. Ciara O'Connor takes the challenge from Clara Griffin, goes in a run towards the 45-metre line, has support in front, going to go herself as Ciara, that's tailing to the left and wide, it goes out wide, their third wide of the half. Indeed, both teams have a 3 wides each, but I think we're going back for a foul that was committed beforehand.
Yeah, Aaron Hogg had signalled advantage, and so has left the play develop on from that foul on O'Connor, but when the shot went away, wasn't sure if the advantage had passed or not, but Aaron Hogg happy enough to call it back for the free just in front of the Wexford management team inside the 65.
So it's going to be even closer to the 45 here based on, I don't think, yeah, I wasn't too sure for a moment. The referee going having a chat with a Waterford defender, but we're back here to the 65-metre line. Some of the Wexford management team just disputing that, but either way we're watching an A. Kern. But before we watch an A. Kern take this free, we're watching Aaron Hogg getting ready to put second. I don't think the referee's ready for the free, or he is ready for the free. Clara Griffin is the player that's booked, and A. Kern takes the free, and the ball has gone over the bar. I wasn't too sure. Well, is that a goal? Is it? There's confusion here. The ball dropped down. There's confusion, Elaine. What are your thoughts?
To me, it looked like it dropped over the crossbar. I thought it looked like it ran down the back of the net, but yeah, look, I think whether the umpire was confused as to what flag maybe he had or not, but it's been given for the free, and that could have been a huge turning point in the game.
Yeah, my instinct is it dropped over too. But of course, they're much closer to the action than us. Either way, it's a point. It's 8 points apiece. It's an Acorn 6 point off the game. And this is Aoife Guiney. Aoife Guiney skips inside, player to the left. Chance here for Wexford. The first ball was dropped. The second shot is taken by Jackie quickly. It goes over the bar. No disputes about that one. 2 very quick scores for Wexford, and the lead 9 points to 8.
Yeah, look, and we said we thought the game was coming into the melting pot, and when it did, it's been Wexford that have stood up to it. But look, Waterford are not done yet, and they're coming on their own attack now.
Wexford lead 9 points to 8. What can Waterford do in response as the ball down for Niamh Rocket? Doesn't happen, and Maeve Sinnott is there for Wexford to take the challenge, goes out towards the corner and drives the ball out towards the 45 metre line. An excellent take from Sarah O'Connor. That's fielding at its best. She wins the free in the process. Hard one in Waterford, but she goes to ground. And Wexford, there's been so many twists of momentum in this game, hasn't there?
Absolutely, it's been end-to-end stuff, and it looked like Waterford were just starting to get a grip on it there when they got the couple of points, and suddenly you look at the scoreboard and it's Wexford that are the point up. So you know, it has really swung from side to side, and there was a super take from Sarah O'Connor on that occasion.
Sarah O'Connor is still going to Loretto in Wexford when she was nominated for her first All-Star back in 2016. She's back on her feet, thank God, and good to continue. Wexford in front by a point, but they've been level, I think, only once since there have been 2 points between the teams, and Wexford have not led by 2 points in this match as they get ready to restart the action. And Sarah O'Connor will take the free herself and drives it down towards the right, looking for Joanne Dillon. Joanne Dillon just gets in front of the ball. Did she take a challenge there in the process? It was good physical contest, there has to be said, and the referee in his defence is letting them off at times. The ball goes out over the line off a Waterford stick. It's going to be a Wexford ball, and it's a Wexford ball to be taken by Joanne Dillon when the official is ready. And Joanne Dillon says, Ciara, you have a go at this instead. And Ciara O'Connor will take this. Ciara O'Connor came into this match with 110 in the campaign. She hasn't scored in this match yet. Indeed, Naomh Curran's last score in this match was her 20th point of the league in 2022, and it's only her 3rd game. Waterford have the ball. Kate Lynch wears number 9, gets blocked down by the other number 9, Sarah O'Connor. Kate will have another go, goes to the 45. Kevin Tatton puts the hands out. He puts it back in when Jackie quickly gets the ball. Sarah O'Connor goes to the hand pass down for Naomh Curran. Well intercepted on the occasion by Orla Hickey, and Orla Hickey will send it out towards the 65 metre line as Vicky Faulkner comes out to get involved in the action, and batting for the ball is the Michelle Martin wearing number 6 for Wexford. It goes out over the line. It's going to be a Wexford ball. Great intensity.
Yeah, I'm not sure anyone knew what way it was going. Both players running for it with their hands up as if to say I'm not fouling anyone here, but ball did eventually roll out over the end line for a Wexford line ball. And sometimes I just feel that Waterford will be better served by just a quick long strike in rather than trying to work it through the lines here. They're being overturned on occasion here now, and it's allowing Wexford to build momentum.
Emma Walsh went raiding down the central channel, get their pass. Wexford sent it in, but only as far as Orla Hickey. The rocket, the ball just goes in underneath her legs, and it's won by Louise O'Leary, the Wexford captain. She has the ball, looks at the space. The is in front of Joanne Dillon, and Joanne Dillon, number 13, up against Orla Hickey. Good challenge from both players there as well. As again, Wexford need bodies come in, get involved. Aoife Guiney is there now. Waterford have the bodies as well. The referee doesn't like what he's seen. He is going to throw the ball in. We are inside the final 10 minutes here in Netwatch Cullen Park in Carlow, and Wexford in front by a point. Wexford 9 points, Waterford 8, and I can see Linda Bulger is getting ready to enter the field of play for Wexford in the next couple of moments, but we're going to have a throw-in ball on between the 20 and the 45 metre line. Elaine, no way of calling how this is going to finish.
Absolutely not. Look, they've been neck and neck the whole way through, and I expect it to be no different for the next 10 minutes. Look, both no real clean goal cut chances, I suppose, for any team yet, and you feel that if they could create one, that they could have a massive impact on the game. But look, credit to both sets of defence. They've got numbers back time and time again, and haven't allowed those goal creating opportunities to materialise, bar that super save from Brianna O'Regan in the first half. But look, you can, I suppose, feel the tension, feel how close the game it is, and how much is exactly at stake here. And both sets of management teams, I think, just starting to roll the dice with the subs now at the minute, just to try to find that crack in the armour of the opposition.
Yeah, Ciara O'Sullivan is coming on from Waterford. She was hiding in the dugout there. We couldn't see her. She's coming on from Mairead O'Brien. Bit of a surprising move, I have to say myself, but Mairead did pick up a knock there a moment ago. Maybe that's something to do with it. Linda Bulger about to enter for Wexford. We'll find out for who in a moment.
Yeah, look, as I said, a huge experience there with Ciara O'Sullivan coming into that Waterford team again, and a player they look to pop up with a score or two. But look, I think they just need to get that ball in there. They have Lorraine Bray in at full forward, and Beth Carton and Niamh Rocket in the half forward line, with Vicky Faulkner operating between the two of them, and now Ciara O'Sullivan up front there. But you know, credit to Maeve Sinnott, she's played that spare player role really, really well there today, and has mopped up time and time again. So I think from a Waterford point of view, probably pulling players out a little bit on occasion to try and win possession in the middle, and then maybe not having that target woman up front.
Joanne Dillon has the ball for Wexford. I'll come back at that point in a moment. There's a big chance here. Gives it to Ciara O'Connor. Ciara O'Connor has a chance for a goal! A goal for Wexford! And Ciara O'Connor puts the ball to the back of the net. Her second goal of the campaign. I said she hadn't scored all match. What a time to get a goal.
Absolutely, and we just said a goal was going to be a huge score in this game. And look, came again out of nothing. A clash ball on the 45, won expertly by Wexford. And look, I suppose Joanne Dillon, justifying her inclusion onto the team there now, came out the end of it, did superbly to draw the player. Ciara O'Connor took the tackle from Brianna O'Regan really well and still managed to finish it to the net. Huge score in this game.
4 points between the teams, 7.5 minutes to go. Wexford 1-9, Waterford 8 points, and Wexford feel there's a chance here now. Joanne Dillon, she set up the goal, she has the ball again, she's been involved in plenty of challenges, turns on her left, tries to get around Mairead Power, manages to get a pass inside the hole there, and Ciara O'Connor, no arguments about that. Iona Heffernan cut out on that occasion, might have a word with the referee. Wexford are going to have a free, and Kern is going to take it, and a chance to go 5 in front.
Yeah, and how well did Joanne Dillon do again on the left wing on that occasion, and held the ball long enough to find the space, and a super ball across into space then to Ciara O'Connor, and Iona Heffernan isolated out there and committed the foul and a free, and as I said, a chance there for Nick to stretch that Wexford lead again.
So the yellow card goes for Iona Heffernan. 3 yellow cards each in this match. 4 points between the teams. The Wexford seniors are their first team, have not been in Croke Park since 2012 when they beat Cork in the All-Ireland final. The juniors, of course, have been All-Ireland champions in that grade. They'll play intermediate this year. This team we're watching will play senior. They're in Division 2 at the moment, and Kern puts the ball over the bar. 6 minutes to go, 110 to 8 points.
Yeah, look, and you just feel now that Wexford have really just taken a grip on this game, and it's going to take something massive from Waterford to come back from it. But look, in a game that's only had a point or two between them, 5 points is a massive lead for Wexford, and you just feel now that it's in their control if they can see it out.
Just over 6 minutes to go. There's a Waterford player just in a bit of distress at the moment, so we're going to have another hold up. The referee is going in to talk to the umpires to see did anything happen off the ball that he needs to be made aware of. Just a reminder again, Edenderry 3 o'clock here on the Camogie Association YouTube channel. Cork against Antrim, the other semi-final. Ray Lannon will be on commentary duty in association with Entray. A big match that'll be as well. Cork against Antrim. Cork, of course, the only team to beat Antrim in last year's All-Ireland Intermediate Championship. Antrim, of course, will have feelings themselves in the senior championship this year. And of course, while many of you talk about these two teams as the favourites, Antrim are definitely a team that are intending to make a Division 1 camogie.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Antrim and Cork will have a big say in it. Whoever comes out of that semi-final here today will certainly fancy their chances going to Croke Park next weekend. Look, Antrim had a super day last year in the intermediate semi-final, or intermediate All-Ireland there last year, and Cork are nowhere bitterly disappointed not to be involved in the latter stages of that championship last year. So I suppose a huge game there today, and you know, Antrim obviously without Maeve Kelly at the moment, so a lot of questions asked to them. They've had an easy enough route, I suppose, to the semi-final and have looked convincingly enough, and Cork overcame Meath last weekend to book their place there. So as I said, a hugely entertaining game coming up in Edenderry later in the day as well, and I've no doubt the winners there will have a huge say next weekend as well.
It promises to be a cracking encounter as well. Iona Heffernan is back on her feet. She is okay as the insurance advisor as the play restarts, as Aoife Mahan gets the ball out towards the middle of the field. 4.5 minutes of normal time to go. We've lost stoppages now, so expect a good few minutes to be added to that. Maybe 3 or 4, so 7 or 8 minutes left for Waterford to save their league campaign, shall I say, as Lorraine Bray gives the ball to Clara Griffin, and Clara gives it back to Lorraine. But Lorraine Bray is on her own, and Orla Sinna gets a little touch for Wexford, but nearly sent it in the direction of Beck Carton. Beck Carton trying to steamroll her way through 2 Wexford defenders. Michelle Martin gets in the way, and there's Louise O'Leary. Does a little swivel around, gives the pass out, and the ball eventually works its way to an Ahern inside the 45-metre line. She sends it on the ground, and there's Maeve Sinnott. We were talking about the role of sweeper she's played in this campaign through all their games. Well, there she is up in the attacking half of the field. The ball did go off her boot. It is going to be a Waterford ball. Kevin Tartan can argue all he wants, but John McDonough knew exactly who was winning that.
I think Kevin was just doing what he could to try and slow down Waterford to start off with the quick ball again, and well, he just reminded him that she needed that ball to get going again.
So we having is it a blood stop here, I think. Clodagh Carroll just going off to receive some attention as well. So there's a bit of momentum going for Waterford. They'll have to get someone on there. While Clodagh Carroll dresses about it. I think it's a cut in the hand or the arm. Was spotted quickly by the referee. Roisin Curran is coming on the field of play. She started the victory against Tipperary, 4-10 to no score on that particular day. And play restarts, and it's Louise O'Leary. What a game she's having. Gives the ball to Aoife O'Connor. Aoife O'Connor goes between the two 65-metre lines. Oh, Aoife O'Connor is really on the run here now. 45 yards out, goes for a shot at the post. Aoife O'Connor, what a point for Wexford. 3 minutes to go, puts it over the bar. 6 between the teams, 111 to 8 points.
Yeah, couldn't believe her look, I think, when she looked up and saw green grass opening in front of her, and did really, really well to carry just to within range, and a super score. And again, it went from a position, I suppose, where Waterford were in control, probably on the attack, and great play from Louise O'Leary after the back burst out there, and said Aoife O'Connor on the attack, and a super score, and just stretches their lead again.
Waterford haven't scored in 14 minutes. In that time, Wexford have scored 1-4. It was 8 points to 7 favouring Waterford. Now it's 111 to 8 points to Wexford. And you would feel the next score is critical. If Wexford get it, Clodagh Carroll is okay. She'll be back on the field to play in just a moment. Wexford lining up a couple of substitutions. Mag Bird is one of them. But if Wexford get the next score lane, you would imagine that's game, set, match.
Yeah, look, I suppose there's 6 points in it at the minute. 2 scores in either way for Waterford. And as you said, they haven't scored in 14 minutes. So a lot of pressure on them to try and get a score up front, whereas you feel if Wexford can just tack on a point or two, maybe that will be the insurance point that will see them through to next week's decider.
Aoife Landers takes the ball but doesn't find a teammate. Found Amy Cardiff, but Waterford have a chance in a free for Lorraine Bray. Just a hand was out there on the shoulder, so it's a chance for Beck Carton. Of course, we look at the clock, 2 minutes to go. There is going to be a significant chunk of added time, you would feel. So what do you do here? She's looking to the line. Do you go for take the point here, or with confidence slow after a few misses? Do you drop this in? And if you are dropping it in, there's not many running in to get it in.
No, by the looks of things inside it, they're counting on her putting it over the bar, and then maybe trying to defend the puck out, because as you said, it's only 2 Waterford players inside that 21-yard line, unless you can see a run outside from maybe someone like Niamh Rocket. But no, I think Beck Carton is going to put this one over the bar, and maybe Waterford try to win the puck out from there.
She needs to get it. Oh, it's come off the upright. Might work out for them yet. It caught everyone off guard there as well. Bounced in towards the Waterford player, and Waterford just trying to find a bit of space there. But Wexford the defending, and Louise O'Leary again. Certainly the second half she's standing out. Orla Sennett has the ball in the 45-metre line, gives it to an A. Kern. And A. Kern there as well has come back and done a bit of work in this game. Takes the chance. 4 Waterford players around her. She drew them in, gives it to Orla. Orla Sennett ran in for the challenge, but the foul had been committed on an A. Kern beforehand. But Louise O'Leary starting all that.
Absolutely, she's really standing out head and shoulders here in the second half. She's really taken that defence by the scruff of the neck, and I suppose had a couple of different players on her. Niamh Rocket has been in there, Lorraine Bray has been in there, Vicky Faulkner has been in there, but she's seen them all off, and not only is she defending stoutly back there, she's getting out and setting Wexford on the attack time and time again from her full back line.
2 substitutions for Wexford, and Nate Kern and Jackie Quigley going off the field to play. Mag Byrne and Kate Curran coming on the field. We look at the clock. The clock says 29 minutes and 40 seconds. We're waiting for the fourth official to confirm how much added time we will have. I am guessing we're going to have at least 4 minutes, but I could be out with that, Elaine. Either way, Waterford are going to have to get a goal soon.
Yeah, look, we've had a couple of stoppages throughout, I suppose, a couple of yellow cards, a couple of injuries, a blood sub there, so they're all substitutes. They're all going to take time, so I would imagine we'll see something like 3 or 4 minutes, but as you said, the pressure now on Waterford to try and get up and get a score, and maybe try and kickstart something then directly from that puck out again. They certainly need to start making a move now.
Aaron Hogg will make that decision, but Waterford cannot afford to concede another point. If it goes to 7, you'd imagine it's over and done with. Joanne Dillon is on the ground for Wexford, but this is Abby Flynn. Abby Flynn gives the pass across, and Waterford trying to move it out through Mairead Power. Mairead Power gives it back to Abby, and Abby Flynn is on the 45-metre line, and this is good movement from Waterford. Can they continue it on? Lorraine Bray has the ball. They love the red helmets in Waterford as she sends it down towards the 45-metre line, but pure purple and gold with a yellow helmet is Louise O'Leary, and she gives the pass out towards the right. The 30 minutes have been played, and of course Elaine Aylward will be picking her player of the match in a few minutes as well. Wexford have the ball. Mag Byrne is surprised she didn't start. She might want to make a point for Croke Park. Goes for a shot at the post. That won't help her cause. It goes out to the right and wide. 7 wide in the game for Wexford, 8 for Waterford. Substitution for Waterford coming on, and Roisin Curran is going to become official now, replacing Niamh Rocket.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I suppose Niamh back on the team today, didn't start most of the league games, came on against Tipperary in the last league game, so probably never really got to the pace of it today, but a lot of that I suppose is due to Louise O'Leary and the pressure she's had in that presence she's had in that full back line today.
So we're getting ready to restart the action. Brianna Regan, we're watching the fourth official. 4 minutes, so she get myself a job at officiating. Nail that down to a T. So we've 4 minutes. Well, actually, we've only 2.5 minutes left now because 1.5 of those minutes have been played. So Waterford have 2.5 minutes to find 2 goals.
Yeah, look, and it's exceedingly hard to see. I suppose 6 points at half time, and they've only managed to put on 2 in this second half. So it's hard to see them creating 2 goal scoring opportunities in the next 2 or 3 minutes, especially that, you know, a lot of their marquee forwards, the likes of Beck Carton and Lorraine Bray, are having to force themselves to come further and further out the field and try and carry the ball into attack.
This is a good move here as Beck Carton gives the ball to Lorraine Bray, and she'll pass it over in the direction of Roisin Curran. Roisin Curran on the 20-metre line. They used to look around for options, going for the point. Is it going to go over? It goes wide, and there was a chance going to Beck, and you would have imagined that needed to be dropped in, but again, there wasn't too many options for Roisin.
No, and that's the thing, you know, Beck Carton and Lorraine Bray started that move out around the middle of the field, and when Roisin Curran looked up then to play that ball inside, there wasn't, as you said, too many options inside, and opted to go for the shot, and it drifted out wide, and look, it was a ball Waterford really needed to keep in play.
Eva Mahan was in no rush to take that puck out, sending it down in the direction of Kate Curran in the green helmet. Waterford have it again. The urgency is creeping in with the Dacia as Abby Flynn goes in the move towards the 65-metre line. Looking around, it gives the pass off for Kate Lynch. Kate Lynch is on the 45-metre line, just loses control. Good defending from Wexford, but we're going back for an original foul on Abby Flynn, and another opportunity for Waterford. The opportunity will be for Beck Carton to take the free, and again we're looking there at Waterford players going forward, and they're taking their time, Elaine.
Yeah, look, and I was just going to say, taking that free is not where Waterford need Beck Carton. They need her on the end of that free. They need her in on the edge of the square. And look, when the last free from her, I suppose, hit the post, Waterford had no players inside to try and create anything, and probably needed to put that one straight down into the square and see if they could get something from there.
Clara Griffin was trying to pick out Ciara O'Sullivan, but Ciara O'Sullivan well marshalled by Emma Walsh, and Emma Walsh has done her job here as well. The clock continues to tick away. We are in the 4th minute of the 4+ minutes. Of course, it is only minimum 4 minutes. There could be more time than that. We will see. This is Aoife Landers. Aoife Landers 45 yards out, dropping in towards Vicky Faulkner. Vicky Faulkner has the ball in her hand. Can she get the goal? The Waterford, he goes for a shot, and it goes out to the right and wide. Another miss there, 10th wide off the game for Waterford, and I think that's it, Elaine.
Yeah, look, and that'll be disappointing from Derek Lyons, even, you know, leaving the wides aside, but just coming down the final straight there. The last couple of chances that they've had, that one from Vicky Faulkner, the one before that from Roisin Curran, and both just poor options, I suppose, taken up front, and 2 poor wides rather than maybe 2 scores that Waterford desperately need.
There's a lot of pressure on Wexford coming into this game, and of course now the Camogie side have shown it. Ball down in towards the corner towards Vicky Faulkner. Vicky Faulkner trying to work inside. She charged into Sarah Harding-Kenny. It's going to be a free out, and I suppose I'm a bit surprised that Wexford management haven't taken Sarah Harding-Kenny off at this stage.
Yeah, I suppose she's doing such a good job in there. You'd be slow to take her off her, and look, I suppose used all her experience, and as I said, she's had a superb game today on Vicky Faulkner. Vicky's been a foreign player for Waterford coming into this league semi-final, and Sarah Harding-Kenny has just stood up to her time and time again today, and turned her over, and on that occasion won the free out and used all her experience.
I'll let you home guess why I was questioning why she was on the field to play. Either way, we'll watch Aoife Mahan, the goalkeeper for Wexford. Nearly 5 minutes of added time have been played. It's only a matter of time. The referee has a look at his watch. The whistle is in his mouth. Is he going to allow some more play? I think he is. So we have another passage of play here, and maybe 2 if Waterford can get the ball. But this is Ciara O'Connor. Ciara O'Connor with the pass is Amy Cardiff. Amy Cardiff moves within range, looks for the score. That will wrap this up. And that ball goes to the right and wide, and the referee blows the whistle. That means that Brianna Regan can restart the action. Low ball towards Lorraine Bray. Lorraine Bray being marshalled by Aoife O'Connor and Sarah O'Connor, but gets up towards the 65-metre line on the move as well. The high challenge comes in, not illegally so. Sarah O'Connor did well to win the ball. Lisa for Aoife, and Aoife sends it down towards the left, down in the direction of Mag Byrne. She wears number 14. She's on her own, but wants to keep the ball down here. But Mag fancies go for a score. Joanne Dill is moving inside. Mag shoots herself, puts the ball over the bar. That is surely it now. The ball goes over the bar. Mag Byrne with the point. 6 minutes of the injury time played, 112 to 8 points.
Yeah, certainly that was the insurance point, and if it wasn't, I think this could be the one coming from, no, it just dropped short from Ciara O'Connor there, but look, that's definitely the insurance point from Mag Byrne, and credit to Wexford, they ran the bench, and the couple of subs that they've brought in have really added something to their attack up front.
Referee continues to play on with nearly 6 minutes of added time being played. 7 points between the teams. Wexford are going back to Croke Park. Their juniors were there last year beating Armagh. Their seniors in 2012 beating Cork. They have a good record in Croke Park. This is Clara Griffin. She'll still believe that Waterford have a chance of saving this match, but the clock is running against them, and the pass just dropping away. Maeve Sennett providing the distraction, and we're in the D there. What can Waterford do with this? Can they get something, even a goal? They get something out of this game as Ciara O'Sullivan tries to create a bit of space, leaves it over Vicky Faulkner, and there with Vicky Faulkner, Sarah Harding-Kenny the whole time. Vicky turns on the left, goes for a shot at the post, puts the ball over the bar. 6.5 minutes of injury time played. Back to a 6-point ball game, 112-9.
Yeah, and it's probably just consolation for Waterford at this stage. But again, great work from Clara Griffin there and Beth Carton going forward, but credit the Wexford defence. They read it really, really well and saw the overlap coming, intercepted it well, and happy enough to just concede the point.
That was Waterford's first score in 23 minutes. Would you believe it, as the referee blows the final whistle, and Wexford are going to Croke Park. They'll be into the Division 2 Littlewoods Ireland National Camogie League final. They'll play Cork or Antrim. That's coming up at 3 o'clock. 112-9 points. Much the better team. Elaine, your overall assessment?
Yeah, look, they really kicked on in that second half. As I said, they had the subs to bring in off the bench. They're, all got their names on the scoreboard and really asked questions of Waterford up front. But, I think Waterford will be disappointed. They tried hard throughout that first half and probably, felt going in at half time they'd put themselves in a really good position. But credit to Wexford, it was all Wexford in the second half, and they got their game plan really into motion from Louisa O'Leary at full back all the way out. And, Annie Curran was unerring and freeze from the day, and they had super spread of scorers up front. All their starting 6 forwards scored, as did the 2 subs up front that they brought on. So, a huge spread of scorers from them, and ultimately I think that was the difference. They were just able to tack on the scores that little bit easier. The goal probably, Ciara O'Connor's goal probably kick-started them a little bit, took a little bit of the pressure off, and they really just started to hurl from there to the end, and Waterford really had no answer for them. Forced the likes of Lorraine Bray, Beck Carton and Eve Rocket have to come out around the middle of the field, try and win possession, and they were trying to win possession and then kick-start on scores up front again. And too many times I think when Waterford players around the middle of the field did win possession of those rucks, they looked up and there was just no options inside. The players had all withdrawn out to try and win the ball, and no options up front, and playing into whatever little bit of a breeze there was there in that second half. They really needed somebody inside that they could target with those long balls, but I suppose just didn't get enough supply in there when the right players were in there, and ultimately that probably cost them.
How much of a relief is this for Kevin Tatton and his team as well? Of course, they're only in a final. They still have to get a job done against Cork or Antrim next week as well. But there's a lot of pressure for both teams. We'll talk about Waterford in a moment. But a lot of pressure for both teams coming into this match. Yeah,
I think there was. As I said, they're both first teams in their counties, want to get back to Division 1 and up against another senior team in Waterford or in Wexford today from whatever viewpoint. So they knew that today was going to be a massive step to getting back to Division 1. Obviously, still an All-Ireland or a league final to be played next weekend will determine whether they'll ultimately go back to Division 1 or not. But it carries huge pressure, I suppose. If you're looking back at the end of the year maybe and you haven't made the step up to Division 1 and you're looking at another year in Division 2 and probably a black mark on your scorecard maybe, and then you have one eye on the championship group maybe later in the year where you're going to be meeting one another again. And look, it's a better position to be in, to have this victory over Waterford here today and be facing into that championship group, giving yourself a real chance of making the knockout stages.
Of course, when the reality of this game sinks in, Waterford will be very, very disappointed, because the relegated side last year normally try and get up in one go. That hasn't happened now. And as the game went on, as you said already, they just faded out of it, and they'll be very, very disappointed.
Yeah, look, and I suppose it's not a bad position to be in, facing now into a really competitive championship group. You've played a team that you're going to face in the group stages again, and look, realistically, you're probably going to be fighting it out for a knockout stage in the championship with them. And Wexford have gotten that victory over them today. And I suppose when the questions were really asked of Waterford, they just couldn't find the responses. And look, they've looked convincing enough going through Division 2 to get to the semi-final here today, but today was the real challenge. And I suppose after half time, when the real challenge was put to them, they just didn't have the answers to Wexford today, and they looked to be that little bit off the pace. You could see what they were trying to do, as you said in commentary. They were trying to play Division 1, probably senior camogie, and it just didn't stick every time. And when it breaks down like that, a team like Wexford are going to punish you. And look, there's a bit of nervousness I think from both sides in the first half, and they just tried to eke one another out. They were playing a very similar game, but Wexford just seemed to be able to adapt it a little bit better in that second half and ultimately get the scores to kick on.
And Wexford did that as well. They won by 6 points. They're into the final. Elaine, before we wrap up here, our coverage from Netwatch Cullen Park, the players that impressed you for both teams and your overall player of the match.
Yeah, look, I suppose from a Waterford point of view, first and foremost, Brianna O'Regan, that save in the first half needs to be looked at time and time again. It was a point blank shot, like she had no right to get to, but what a save she made, and didn't just, save the ball and knock it back out, deflected it away for the 45 and averted the danger. She did really, really well. Beth Carton, I suppose, up front, Lorraine Bray, Vicky Faulkner tried hard, but ultimately, I suppose, just not enough players. Clodagh Carroll, when she came on, in fairness to her, I thought solidified that half back line and grew into the game, and she's probably a player, if she's going to be involved for the rest of the year, needs to bed down a place in that half back line for Waterford. For Wexford, I suppose they had heroes all over. Look, we spoke about Sarah Hardin-Kenny in commentary, did a really, really good job on Vicky Faulkner there, and does a really, really good man-marking job on whatever forward she's given the job of tasking on any particular day. Louise O'Leary really grew into the game, I thought, and Maeve Sinnott, in fairness, played that spare player role really, really well. Up front then, look, and Curran, I think, finished with 7 points, freeze and play, involved in a lot of the good play, and all their forwards up front scored. Ciara O'Connor with that really, really important goal, but even the subs when they were introduced, Joanne Guiney, I thought did really well. Mag Byrne got herself on the scoreboard, but ultimately for me, I think throughout the game, Sarah O'Connor was probably the standout player. A bit of fielding there in the second half from a ball out from her own corner back position, just put her body on the line. And look, midfield, I suppose, is an area Waterford would have fancied winning coming into today's game. Kate Lynch and Lorraine Bray, two really formidable players there, but I thought Sarah O'Connor probably stood up head and shoulders above the rest of them there today.
Yes, that catch in the middle of the second half as well, one of the standout moments, as was Aoife O'Connor's point, and of course that save from Brianna O'Regan. In the end, it's Wexford going to Crow Park. You can see them there in their post-match huddle. The job is done. They pulled clear in the second half, and they will play Cork or Antrim. Stick with us here on the Camogie Association YouTube channel, live from Edenderry at 3 o'clock. The second semi-final, Cork against Antrim. Who will Wexford play? But they celebrate now, but a job to do in 6 days' time. 6 points between in the end. I'd like to thank John Nolan, our producer here in Carlow today, and Elaine Aylwood in the commentary box beside myself, Darren Kelly. Final score, Wexford are through. Wexford 112, Waterford 9 points.